Hello, eRank. And it's Thursday, and it's actually Etsy Up Day, which is a once-a-year event. If you all missed it, there'll be replays on Etsy's YouTube channel. But we're here to be our unofficial after show party. We're
With
absolutely
better audio, from what I understand.
Oh, yes, I think the after show had some issues by the sounds of it. I have to say I gave up at the after show. I managed Etsy up, but I gave up on the after show. So you guys will have to let me know if I missed anything there. And if you have anything to talk about from the show or the after show, any questions, queries, excitements, worries, and we will talk about Etsy's latest article that they released of the changes that are going to be coming in this season. So
Some
lots
of which are already in place.
very true. I just got the policy tool
Yesterday or
this
the day
afternoon.
before or something. Oh, you just got it today.
Oh yeah, literally just a couple of hours ago or something. Because I've been sitting complaining, like eRank Jessica, who's mainly in our Reddit, but you'll see her in Facebook, and she's in some of these videos, and you'll see her in the chat somewhere. She got all of the tools. She has the AI writing assistant. She has everything. It's not fair.
Americans, they always get it first.
I know. I should be given it. How am I supposed to talk about Etsy and complain about them if they don't give me the tools? It's very annoying.
Oh, it's good times.
Jessica, you don't have to be sorry. She shares all her screenshots with us at least, so that's good. Maybe that would be a cool thing to share. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Maybe that would be something cool to share in our socials. Let people see what's coming.
Definitely. And one thing that, because I also have the policy violations page, but I have no violations. I don't know what it looks like. And everybody I've spoke to so far also has no violations. So I don't know if it's just violations going forward. So if everyone watching right now, if you could check your violations page and see if there's anything there, especially if you're someone that has had violations in the past, because
I
I'm
did.
seeing nothing.
Yeah, good point. I had a historic violation. I've had two many, many, many years ago, though. So I know. What did I do? I got
Disney?
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, the first thing I needle felted for sale was a Jack Skellington, of course.
I mean, we're talking, what was that, 2012? 2008? Like, it was a long time ago, too.
It was a good while. So Etsy hasn't held that against
It
me.
was before trademarks were a thing.
Yeah, totally.
My
So
audio.
yeah, and there was something else. Oh yeah, I randomly made a sort of blue troll thing, and I'd been reading a lot of Terry Pratchett, and I thought, hey, it looks like the Magnificals, so I put that in one of my tags, and that got taken down as well. So that was where I learnt that yes, if you make something absolutely original and go, oh, that looks a bit like, no, that's still not good.
Fair. And yeah, sorry about that. It was not on my microphone. It was trying to pull audio from these guys instead of the microphone that's in front of me.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. Hopefully that's better now.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I didn't. I've got you down quite low, so I didn't really hear it, but now much better, actually. Yes.
Amy says that it shows an old one.
Ooh. If anyone doesn't mind sharing their screen, we would love to see it. Mainly because we're very nosy people. Whatever social we're in, you can tag up eRank.
Or
whatever.
post it in the eRank Facebook group if you're in the group. Because so far I have not.
Yep, I'm wonderfully innocent also. But I'm intrigued by it. And I think this is a cool thing. I'm not surprised they brought it out. I've seen YouTube had a similar thing for copyright for a long time. So it's nice. You're about to see, and I believe I saw a screenshot of like tabs and things along the top saying like the process of it, like how to appeal it and things like that. So we'll see. It's definitely very handy.
It's a step up, and a lot of people, that's their biggest question when they do get those emails or they do get the yellow bars across their screen. They don't know what they violated. They're looking for listings like, okay, which one has been deactivated? I can't find what I did wrong. Now at least it's going to be, this is basically just to give a little break to customer service. That's what it basically is, to actually keep us informed about our account and what we're doing right or wrong.
It does, I think, sort of tells you, because I know like eRank work on this principle as well, but Etsy's a lot slower. But if they're getting flooded with customer service messages about a certain thing, eventually they'll try and fix the certain thing because it's cheaper to fix the certain thing. And well, eRank doesn't do it because it's cheaper to fix the certain thing. We like taking feedback and going, oh, that would be a cool thing to do. Like Anthony has this incredibly busy mind that flits around things going, oh, let's make new stuff. I think Etsy's just like, okay, we're hearing this is a very big problem that our customer support team are shouting about. So it's good. And also, I think with everything that's going on, it could also be a step forward that Etsy might be fear in the future where it'll get held responsible for copyright claims in the future. So I don't know. This is just me speculating, but I know there was a huge thing on YouTube when it got for that kind of thing. The laws were changed to make YouTube have to be responsible for stuff. So we'll see. I'm loving that you're all showing off in the chat saying you've never got hit with any violations. I am not the only terrible person that didn't know. Back in my day, very old person here, but people used to say it was okay to make stuff just so long as it wasn't in the exact same pose. It was a totally different thing. And I didn't know any better. I believed, because anytime you went to a craft fair or something, you always saw Disney stuff. So I thought it must be okay. It's not okay. So that's why I have a little more time for people when they're like, oh no, I should be able to do this. It's like, no, you're just where I was. You just don't know better just now. That's fine.
Fair.
Give me 2 seconds, Melanie. Where would I find the policy violations if I had them? You'll have it on your dashboard. This is a good place to show because I've got something else that I'm actually worried about. But anyway, so in your shop manager policy violations, it's under your customer service stats, and find out if your listings aren't following our policies. And look, all clear so far, and some links to relevant articles, which is good. But the other thing while I was here, I wanted to show, Etsy started doing this top tasks, which I think is a good thing. It's like, what do you need to work on today? What's important? But the thing that did an oh no moment for me, because I know a lot of people, when they see, here are your tasks for today, or people's eyes twitch when they see how many messages I've always got sitting there, things like that. They like to be complete. They like everything done. So they were also, I think that's why, like, I definitely have some Etsy search visibility issues. You can see this here, but they don't highlight that anymore. I think it's because people were freaking out and wanting rid of that. I can dismiss this. You couldn't dismiss that. Today's top task, renew 503 listings.
How many listings do you have in your shop? You have 78 active listings.
Yes.
And it wants you to renew 503, which I'm guessing a lot of those are custom items. So custom listings that you have made for someone, it's a one-off. So that would be put into the sold out folder, and Etsy's recommending relisting them for some reason. Yep.
Sold out and expired listings. For some reason, they've told me I need to renew them all. So I know what they're saying. It's like, go and have a look at this. Do you need to renew some? Or they could tell me if something is expired in the last month or the last week or something. But my shop's been open since 2008. I've got a lot of expired listings because some of them were not worth keeping. Wow, that was interesting.
And if we want to show the policy violations, I have them in the share there.
Oh, cool.
So this is what it'll look like when you do have policy violations. You will see you'll see the listing that was removed. You'll see the policy that's violated. In this case, it's all intellectual property, so probably trademark or copyright violations. It'll tell you what happened. So in this case, the listings were removed. Appeal status, so it'll actually tell you if you've appealed, and it'll give you the option to appeal. So right now, all those say not available because the listings were removed in January of this year. But if you still had time to appeal, usually that's within 60 days of the violation, then you would see a way to appeal, and you'll see pending appeal or something along those lines in that field. And then when you click on view details, you will then see the details of the violation. It'll tell you everything that Etsy has that led to that happening. And then also links to view the review policy and all that type of stuff. But it gives you full information about what was removed, why it was removed, and whatever other violations there are. If you're sending mass emails or mass messages, and so you get throttled on those, that type of violation will show up here as well. And so all of the violations, everything that's negative in your account, will show up here. And this is the stuff that generally Etsy will hold against your shop, like that kind of thing. And so they're now being transparent and giving you all of the information instead of it being just, well, what did I do? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? What was removed?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Etsy. I think that's really positive, because it's scary when your listings are taken down. I think, back in the day when mine were taken down, I got an email and I was told why it was taken down. I was told, like,
now they say that they sent an email, but never comes
they
through.
don't. And I can't read it because it's very little. Does it give much detail? Because I know what they used to do.
So under removed, it says so this wasn't a copyright violation. This was a policy violation, apparently. It says our team reviewed and removed the listing after it was reported to us or flagged by our internal systems. This means it can't be seen by buyers anymore and can't be edited to relist this item, which that was always something. If something was removed, sometimes you were able to relist it. Sometimes you weren't. And you're like, why can't I do anything with this? This actually gives you the reason, and it tells you that you can't relist that listing anymore. So that's actually really nice to see.
Yeah.
And then it says it doesn't follow the policy and gives you examples, and then what you can do next. You can update any similar listings to make sure they don't violate. Keep in mind, if your shop has multiple policy violations, we will remove any star seller badges you have or suspend your account. You'll soon have access to appeals for creativity standards violations. We're working on rolling this feature out to more sellers. So right now there isn't the appeal for certain things, and they are rolling that out. We will have the ability to appeal if it is something other than intellectual property. So if it's a knife or something like that, but it's a knife that you're allowed to sell versus the more blades that you're not allowed to sell, then you can appeal it because that was a community standards violation. And they're rolling that feature out. So at the moment you can't, but you will be able to.
Yeah, it's very good. I would prefer a little more details about, like, what intellectual property policy they broke, because people do get lost with that. But I do think that is a whole lot better. It's very difficult to appeal something if you don't know why you got it, basically.
Exactly. In this case, these are from Sylvia, and she was saying it was a violation of the images. It was a trademark mock-up.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sylvia, though. It's really helpful to see all of this. Do you know, I don't know if anyone else did this. In my stupid head, I thought, should I make a trademark? Should I make a bad listing to see if I can get a violation? And then I realized that was a dumb idea. Even for YouTube, that was a dumb idea.
Normally it's Pam's shop that we share, just because we love sharing Pam's shop. And because little felted animals are really cute, so they're always nice to have on the screen. But unfortunately, this time we couldn't share Pam's because
I didn't
you're not
do
bad
that
enough.
thing. Yeah. And well, I won't say that I can't be trademark infringing. I can very easily be trademark infringing. I love making infringing things. You can't. I've got baby
Yoda right
Yoda's
there.
there. Yeah, that's Spyro the Dragon.
Or
You can't
Bronco.
quite see him. It's all trademark infringing.
As long as you know you can't sell them. You can make anything you want. You can make infringing things. You just can't sell infringing things.
Yeah, well, I'd be very surprised if Disney came at me for what I'm decorating the back of my house with. So, yeah.
There. Yeah, so that's the policy violation. It's only come in the last couple of days, and I guess in the UK it just arrived today. And yeah, and within the main screen, it actually gives links to the policies and the best practices within the Etsy seller handbook. So that's also extremely helpful, because those are links that we generally share in the Facebook group when someone says, I'm getting this message. These are usually the pages that we share anyways. So it's nice that Etsy is actually linking to them as well.
Yes.
They must read our comments.
While we're at it, Jessica, you were here. Could we share your AI writing, message writing page thingy? I'm not doing words today very well, am I? That was the worst one. But Jessica, would you mind sharing a screenshot of the messages AI helper thing that Etsy's given you? That would be good. And Nadia's having
it hasn't rolled out in Canada yet, and I guess that hasn't rolled out in the UK either.
I don't know if it's universal or it's just these, they dribble it out to different people. Yeah. Nadia's loving your cup. I'm going to have to up my cup game. But this is terrible. Brian with his cool cups.
It's a cat ghost. Oh, there's too much light on it. It's a cat ghost.
It's a pint cup.
If you can't drink out of cute cups, then why drink at all?
Living, but yeah, I agree. Living's overrated.
Definitely overrated when you could be a cat ghost.
No, it's cool. I always like big mug things. This is a thing random people are going to zone out, but my dad used to like to host like cocktail parties, and being a Scot, every time someone came in, he would have to share a drink with the person that came in. So he used to drink out of these big pewter beer steins, and I didn't know until way too recently that it was because he only had to put a tiny bit of drink in his stein each time. He wasn't having a full drink with every person. He was actually being clever.
So here is the writing assistant.
Yeah.
And so you'll see our assistant needs more information. Add specific details about what your reply. So this is within messages. And you will see a little writing assistant button where you usually see the snippets. The snippets will still be there, but there'll be a writing assistant snippet as well. And you just kind of describe what you want to say. Sorry, the item is late and it's going to arrive X, Y, and Z time. Or, hey, you requested this color, but we don't have it in stock, and so choose from these other colors. And the writing assistant will draft up something nicer with more customer service voice, and that kind of thing. Let me see if the other image here. Zoom in on that.
And Jessica did say that these have been really quite good and in her style. And yeah, that does look.
Hi there, thanks for asking. Well, we don't offer free hats directly. We do have a special program where for every order placed in our shop, we donate a handmade baby hat to a charity or hospital. It's a way for us to spread a little extra love. Let me know if you have any other questions. It's very customer service. We'll try sending my... it's very customer service themed, and it's just great. Like that's an amazing response. That it will read your previous messages to get your voice, and it kind of knows how you respond, and then it puts that customer service layer on top of it so that It just seems that much more professional. And so that if you can't come up with all the words and the punctuation and the just, you're on the go and don't have time to sit there and write all this, you just click a single button and there it is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely. To be honest, I think this is a better use than the title generator.
Yes.
Because without us knowing it was AI, this has been going on for years. Like Grammarly and stuff have been doing things like this, and that must have been with some version of AI. We just didn't know to call it AI. So
that's true. If I got a response like this, I would not know it was AI.
And actually, thinking about it, a few years ago, YouTube brought out in your comments, when someone commented, you had a sort of answer you could give, which was like, "Oh, thanks for watching," or it was pretty good. It made it easy.
Responses kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, and that was cool. And then a couple of months ago, instead of just the suggested response or something, it said AI response, and I'd been using it before, editing it, but going, yeah, that's good. When it said AI response, I was like, no, I'm human, I'm not doing AI. And then I was like, what have you been doing like for a couple of years? And now it says AI, and you're freaking out. It was always AI.
And yes, Pup Style. This is in Etsy. It's in Etsy Messages. Not everyone sees it. I don't see this yet. But some people it's one of those things that's rolling out and it's in testing right now, and it's in beta right now actually. So only certain people will get this, and it just speeds up that little process. But just like any other AI, just like the AI title helper, just like everything else, read it before hitting send. Don't just let it write something and hit send, because it might not actually understand what you want to say. The AI is great, but it's not perfect. So it might need a little bit of modification. It might need a little bit of changing, because it's you never know.
Gabby, you're scaring me. The Terminator response. I'll be back. That's probably why I'm freaking at AI. I was happy with anything else. I watched so much Terminator when I was young. I was dating a guy who was obsessed with it. Terminator 2, he knew every little glitch in the film, every continuity error. I've seen it so often. So I'm terrified of AI. I started out going with Chatty and thanking her and being nice, but I read an article that says if you're mean and threaten them, they give better answers, and it kind of works, even though I'm a bit scared by it. I mean, I don't know how, but it's kind of cathartic to tell an AI that you're going to do something to the body that they don't have.
Oh, Pam. I still thank my Google AI for turning on my lights, or Google Home, just because it's just out of instinct. It's not even like... I am Canadian, so we are generally polite even to our computer systems. Maybe that's why.
I was doing it. Yeah, but I do most of the time. And if it's good, I do tell them it's good. I'm a dog trainer, so reward the good. Same with Eatsy. If they do good, say, good boy, Eatsy, here, have a cookie. Good boy. And hopefully you get more of the good and less of the bad. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Heather, threats to ChatGPT. Try it. It's fun. Yeah, it was a crazy article, and all the AI people came out and said, yeah, it does work. I don't know. It's like you say, you get this right, or I'm going to switch you off and throw you out the window. And mind you, that's always been the case. Have you not yelled that at your computer before? People have.
I would never yell at my computer. I would never yell at my computer. It does all the things for me.
You've not had a blue screen of death 2 days before tax returns are going in, then?
No, I have not.
That's fun.
I build stable systems.
Show off. Yeah.
I'm
getting told off for being mean to AI. Yeah, Jessica, yell at your printer instead. I used to work in printer testing. I have got all that pent up rage inside me. We used to have to, yes, I know how to fix every issue with a printer while swearing
Or you
at
just
it.
Office Space it and you're all good to go.
Nope, I think we had 12 printers running at once trying to run tests, and they were supposed to run all day and all night. So I know all the issues that can happen.
Fair. No, you're supposed to treat printers with love. With love. You caress them and then they don't fail.
They look like googly eyes just behind you when you do
They're going
that.
cross-eyed as they.
Actually, I'm nice to my label printer. She had some giant eyelashy Google eyes on her because it's a bleep art, so I call her Bleepy, as I call ChatGPT Chatty. Yeah, there's a theme here, but one of her eyes fell off, so she looks a little bit. I'm gonna have to stick it back on. She doesn't look too great anymore.
Tech Perch says, I yell at my Cricut too. Yes, when we were running Crickets, we yelled at them like you wouldn't believe. Oh my God, the amount of times we had to hit those things. Silhouette, great.
There we see. We found the limit with even Canadian niceness. Crickets.
The Cricut. The Cricut design space. Oh, it's great. It's great for hobbyists, but
I haven't tried much of them. But my mum has it's a Brother Scan and Cut, and it's finicky.
Very.
I mean, it's cool when it works. It's a lovely idea, but yeah. What do you mean this is a fraction of a millimeter thicker and now suddenly you can't work? Yeah. So I don't know how she has the patience for that.
Technology.
Right. Yeah. The other thing, sorry, that Etsy's bringing out with it that it mentioned is automated messages for each stage of your process, which I haven't seen that yet either, to say it's shipped and things. So I don't know if this is, hopefully we'll be able to edit them. But I've always thought that was the cool thing, because Etsy send messages to people and they bug people for reviews and things. Are we going to be able to go in and change these up a little bit ourselves? That would be handy. I don't know. Has anyone seen this?
I don't know if that one has rolled out yet. But again, not in America, so it's very possible that it has. The big advantage of that is it basically takes on what Starla puts out there with her swipe files, where you send a message at each stage of production, of shipping, just to keep the customer in the know and to keep that relationship going, so that if there are any issues, that they don't hesitate to send you a message instead of just leaving a scathing review. So this kind of makes that process a little bit easier. If you can edit them, we don't know it yet if you'll be able to edit them, but if you can, then you can essentially create your own swipe files. And it would be nice. We don't have them. It would be nice if you were able to just automate that at a certain stage. It then sends the message instead of you manually sending the message. If not, then that's definitely a thing for smaller shops. That's definitely it puts the human back in it, because you're sending messages and you're sending messages to all of your buyers, and it's just a really nice thing. For a larger shop, it might not be as possible, just because that can be extremely daunting. But
I'm certainly hoping, like, your message when you make a sale, you can change that. You can write in your message to customer, and even there's an option for a message to a digital customer. You can have a different message there. So I've always liked that, and I've always thought, and yeah, if you are doing shipping manually, you can leave a message there as well. But otherwise, Etsy does all the rest themselves. So it would be nice if you can fill in your standard replies, and if you use Starless swipe files or your own or AI or whatever, you'd be able to put in your own generated ones. And yes, it would be nice if there's a way, if there's something you need to go, oh, I've got to say something different to this customer, you could go, pause, let me answer that. Kind of, let me change that one. I don't know how much they'll give us. They sort of glossed over that pretty quickly, just mentioned it, but I didn't see anything.
Exactly. Amy asks, has anyone got the marketplace insights showing up yet? Hoping as Etsy Plus seller, it will appear soon. Etsy said that that's coming in a few weeks. That nobody has that yet. Nobody's seen that yet. It looks promising. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm waiting to look at it. We're all excited to dive in and see what they're giving us. There was some screens shown in the Etsy app, if anyone missed that. They did. I don't know. I had to laugh. Etsy did a poll right at the beginning going, and they did this last year going, what's everyone excited to hear about? And every year it's always like the SEO, your shop stuff, like 90% of people saying we're interested in this. So they give like 10 minutes to that thing, 5 minutes to that thing. And oh, here's the design awards and here's trends. And it was like 5% of people were interested in these things. Like,
Yeah.
you know how to tease your audience.
Exactly. Sylvia said, I would love automation. I send manual messages after the purchase and after the package is shipped. My reviews skyrocketed after I started doing this. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's to certain audiences. Certain audiences, if your target audience is someone like me, don't do that, because I will leave a negative review. I generally don't, but like that's bothersome. More messages is not a good thing. But for a lot of different audiences, sending those messages and keeping people in the loop is a great thing to do, especially if there's any delays. If there's anything that like is negative or anything that could lead to a negative review, it's always good to get ahead of that. But otherwise, definitely sending those messages helps with quite a few audiences. It reminds people to leave the review, and it gives people a good something. It gives them good customer service to leave a review about. It makes them want to do it.
Sorry, I'm pulling up this one. I completely agree with Brian, but I got distracted because this is an important one. Deb here. Question: being new, why do you get a message saying you sold something, but when you go to Etsy messages, I have not? That is a scam. That is, sadly, that is scammers preying on new shops. This is a common thing. So please don't click on that or anything. If you've made a sale, it'll show up in your dashboard under orders. I absolutely hate that. But yes, I completely agree with Brian. As an elderly woman who happens to be Scottish, I hate unnecessary messages. I'm just
Elderly.
grumpy. Yes, I've had a sore knee all week. I feel very elderly. So, but okay, as an aged, I'm trying to think of a good term, but they're all wine or cheese references I'm thinking of. I'm still 21. I've just been 21 a lot of times.
I'm 21 somewhere.
That's true. I think some of the ends of my hair.
If this was Pluto, I would only be 21. So
fair enough.
Yeah, but Deb, that's more than likely a scam. Etsy, when you sell something, Etsy does not send messages. You will get an email from at transactions.etsy or transactions@etsy.com. But you don't have to click on anything in that email because it will all be in your account. You never have to click on anything in any message or email. But there are no messages when you do make a sale. So you could ignore that, mark it as spam. And Etsy does clear out the scammers every once in a while if they get enough reports about them.
Absolutely. Etsy doesn't enjoy this and have been doing lots of things to try and help it. Unfortunately, this is a sign of its success that scammers come in. I can't blame
this
Etsy.
Wasn't a thing before. This wasn't 5 years ago. This wasn't a thing, and it's only within the last 2.5 years that the scammers have started to hit Etsy. Once Etsy hit 96 million buyers, 96 million active buyers on Etsy each quarter, and what's it at? 5.4 million sellers with over $3 billion being spent on the marketplace every 3 months. Yeah. The scammers are going to come out and try and rip off sellers that don't know. Once you do hit a certain threshold, those messages stop. One of my shops that's a newer shop, it receives those messages at least once a week. My shop that has been around for 6.5 years, that has 43,000 sales, I have not got a single one of those messages in. And you will also get the message. You will also get a message after you make a legitimate sale. So remember, do not click on anything in messages. Even when you get a legitimate sale, they're just tracking your shop and can see when your sales numbers increase. So they're sending a message to try and trick you into clicking buttons, and don't. Etsy doesn't need anything from you. If you already are able to sell things, Etsy doesn't need any more information from you. And if they do, it'll be in your account folder. You'll see a little red number next to accounts. So don't click on anything. Those are all just scams.
Yeah. I think it's a fair way for anything on the internet. If you get a message, a phone call, or anything that says something needs doing, go yourself and log into whatever site that is. And if it's real, you'll see something there.
Yeah. Too many people have fallen for that. I've seen a lot of people that have fallen for that and ended up losing thousands of dollars, and it's not scammers.
Yeah, and Gabby, anything Etsy will be marked as Etsy. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can show without showing my buyers. But yeah, here we go. I didn't want to show my buyers' messages, but obviously. But yeah, so there is a folder here that says from Etsy, and they'll have this badge saying from Etsy. These are legitimate messages. And some things end up in spam when Etsy's had enough complaints, if they understand. But yeah, those are legitimate Etsy things. Anything else is not from Etsy.
And you generally won't have 593 unread messages.
Yeah. Fun fact, for a little while they were thinking about giving me one of these badges, but then they chickened out.
Why?
I know.
That's not nice.
It was when I was doing the
at the university.
Yeah. I think they realized that would mean I could message people as if I was from Etsy. Which, yeah. But I thought it was funny at the time. Yeah.
Thought
I'm
says,
glad she's saying thanks. I'm just saying glad we could help you, because that's a huge worrying one. It really is.
Thaw said, I've had this happen 3 times this year. Payment processing, it goes through. Just when I'm about to ship, it cancels. What's up with that? That could be multiple things. It could be that the payment didn't actually finish going through. It could be that they emailed Etsy requesting a refund, or they did a chargeback on their credit card, so Etsy will just cancel the order. Or it was a stolen credit card and Etsy didn't catch it right away. Because a lot of times smaller purchases are made just to see if a credit card is active and can be used online, and Etsy doesn't necessarily catch it right away, but eventually they do. So that's why orders sometimes disappear. It shouldn't happen too often, but with certain stores, especially digital stores, that tends to happen the most.
Yeah, I suppose if you're trying to scam a card, it's a good way if it's an instant download. But Etsy does... You can see in your orders, you'll see payment process pending or something, and Etsy will tell you. I can't remember the exact term. I've seen it a few times. Etsy will say it might take a few days for us to clear this payment, and that's not a scam. That's them. There's something dodgy, or they're trying to make sure they're getting the funds, so they're protecting your back. So don't ship out something until Etsy has absolutely cleared, and it's marked as it's fully marked as an order.
Yep. To answer Michelle, she says, is there any way to turn off email notifications to me every time I get a message or make a sale? It just fills up my email, and I always look at messages and sales on Etsy. I do not read the emails. I also don't read the emails, and I'm someone, once again, I prefer inbox zero. I'm a big fan of not getting messages. Unfortunately, those messages cannot be turned off. For messages and sales, those messages can't be dropped. All the other Etsy stuff can be. Any ads, marketing materials, all that type of stuff can be, but sales and messages cannot. So what I do is I just use a filter. So I have a separate folder. I have one for sales and one for communication. And I do, I forget exactly what the email addresses are for those. But for transactions, it's transaction@etsy.com. So I have a filter that if an email comes from that, it automatically sends it to the transaction folder. For conversations, it is slow. Or the folder's just not going to load. Oh, there we go. It's conversations@mail.etsy.com. So you would just have to filter for that and send that to your conversations folder. That way it gets them out of your inbox. And just like a junk mail folder, you might look at it once a year just to see if there's anything in there, but otherwise it just goes away and gets tucked away somewhere. So that's what I do to stop the clutter, because I am a big fan of no clutter. I'm a digital hoarder, but I hate clutter. Everything needs to be organized, so I hate all those extra emails going to my inbox. And so just using filters, you can keep it out of the way, sweep it under the rug.
Don't even have to in Office now. If you've not clicked on stuff, because I just you can imagine what my inbox looks like if what my Etsy messages looks like. So Microsoft starts filtering everything to others. So everything I've not opened, it's just like, yeah, you don't care about that. We'll take that out of your view.
Okay.
Also, it's a Hotmail account I have, and I have to remember I get warnings every now and again saying unable to receive any more emails. I've had it a while.
Nadia said, I was attacked by scammers as soon as I opened my new Etsy shop. Yep. They prey on new shops, and they prey when you post new listings, and they prey when you make your first few sales. They just jump on it. And the problem is that because they hope that they're getting to people who don't experience Etsy, that don't know what Etsy is yet. And those are the people that unfortunately end up falling for these scams.
Yeah. Oh, Amy's saying she's got a glitch on eRank. Can you hit the E on eRank on the bottom right-hand corner, or email support@erank.com and let them know? Our team always want to know what's going on. Yeah, I don't quite understand. I don't know if that's a glitch I've heard of before, but give them a message and they'll look into that. Thank you.
Michelle said, will eRank in the future have a drop down on the Etsy search to show rank? On Etsy itself, no. That is one thing that we refuse to do, because an extension, like if you use our extension, you can actually have that beside your search bar, like your Etsy search and everything like that. But we refuse to let our extension actually edit the pages. And so we won't put in little tidbits on the screen. I believe that's what you're asking, if we'll show those numbers on Etsy, and that's something that we won't do. But you could download our extension. It works for any Chromium browser, so Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Brave, I believe Opera, and you could actually it's basically a sidebar that will give you all the information. So when you do a search, it'll give you all the information about the results on that page. When you're looking at a listing, it'll tell you all the information about the listing, the tags and estimated sales and all that type of information. So our browser extension is a great one. You can get it from the Google Chrome store, and it's great, and it kind of has that feature, but it doesn't actually edit the main Etsy page.
Yeah. And if there's anything else any of you would like to see apart from us doing something on the main Etsy page, let us know. Our developers have a massive list of cool ideas that we're wanting to create. And if there's something really cool that we can do, we definitely look into it and see if we can do it. So any ideas, let us know.
Exactly. Nancy says, I was on a roll with sales, updated some titles of my lesser successful products. Sales are now down to 0. Suggestions. It's that time of year. Etsy traffic on Etsy itself has dropped significantly over the past 2 weeks. A lot of people are blaming tariffs. A lot of people are blaming this. It's actually just less people are shopping. It's the economy. It's back to school. There's a lot of factors. It's also because we're ramping into the holidays. People are generally saving money now to shop in a month or two from now. This is like now, and I believe it's in March are the two like biggest drops in traffic before it jumps back up. So at the moment, you will see that drop. That's across Etsy. That's not just your shop, that's across Etsy, which you can use the sales competition tool to see if it's just you or if it's your competitors as well. You can track shops that are similar to yours, and then you can see their daily sales. And by doing so, you can see if it's your niche that's down or if it's just you that's down, which is very helpful. And by using the sites tool, that'll give
That's
you
the one
information.
I'm trying to pull up just now. Sorry, I was laughing and going, I'm pulling up one tool and he's talking about the other.
Oh, I was getting to sites because it's one of my favorite tools.
Yeah.
But pulling up the sites tool, when you do a search for Etsy.com and then you look at the reach, you'll see it ramps up leading towards the end. There you go. It ramps up towards the end of the summer there. And then in the last 3 weeks, it's just kind of fallen off a cliff. And that's normal. That actually happens every single year. That generally happens about a week before school starts. So it's like a week before Labor Day. And then everything just drops as Halloween shopping has petered off and Christmas shopping hasn't quite come into play. So that's not just your shop. So it doesn't have anything to do with the fact it probably doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you edited your titles. But if you're saying you edited your lower traffic listings and everything is not doing well, this is actually the reason. You didn't do anything to your shop. You didn't do anything negative to your shop. It's just Etsy and Amazon and eBay, and they all have that same dip because shopping right now, that's just like, think of how much you purchase a month from now versus how much you're purchasing right now. And that it's generally going to be a bit lower.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that dip does look scary. I'm not going to lie, but it is normal.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and look up Amazon just now, just because I'm nosy. See if because that was definitely a big crash about a week ago, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Yep. As we expected. So
There's
that's
Amazon. Same drop. See,
Yeah, exactly.
it actually looks like it happened slightly before, and the drop was more significant instead of it being like a stagger drop like Etsy. It was just a drop.
Yep. So that goes to show, and this happens every year. So definitely, Sites Tool is for our paying members, but you do get a little graph on the dashboard for free. But if you have access to the Sites Tool and you're worrying, that is a good one to check, especially at this time of year. It's good to look and see because we're going to see it down, and then it's going to
all of a
do
sudden,
its shoot up. Yeah.
So have your listings ready. So now is the time to edit your titles and get everything in place for when things do start to move up.
Yeah, glad we could help, Thoth. It's not going to have been you messing things up. This is why I'm happy but not happy when Etsy do things like the AI listing title helper, because I knew this was going to happen, is that things are dropping and you can't compare and say, I didn't make changes, I did make changes, I used the tool and this has happened. And it's really difficult to say this has happened because of. And I also really worried because obviously if you haven't touched things and you see the big warnings from Etsy, you might think, oh no, it's because I haven't touched things, because you don't have the full data to say, actually, no, things are doing bad for everybody. So it's a good time for Etsy to have made changes, because they're not going to be killing any kind of traffic, because traffic's already as bad as it's going to be for just now. But it's a bad time because it makes it really difficult for you to understand if changes have made a difference, because everything's crashing. I mean, some of the, like, when you're comparing competitors, Brian was talking about that when I was trying to get to the Sites Tool. When you're comparing competitors, don't look at the top people in the niche. Caitlin, Minimalist, and all those, they're gonna get pretty steady sales because they're driving sales from everywhere. They probably get tons of views from Google, and their socials will be on point. They can weather any storm. And also, if only 4 people searched for a certain thing, they would be shown they would get all of them sales. It's when there's thousands of sales and they don't have time, they don't have time to deal with it all, that we catch the crumbs underneath them, basically.
Exactly. Thoth said, I'm way up in the chat, by the way. I'm like 10 minutes ago. eRank showing them in the top 3% of sellers, but no Lamba. No Lambo. Where does eRank get these numbers on seller rank? Basically, it takes all shops on Etsy and places you. Remember that there's 5.4 million active sellers. I don't know exactly how many shops there are in total that eRank is tracking. It might be tracking all of them, which is a lot more than that.
No,
And
we're trying to get the active shops. I think our number's slightly less than Etsy's number because Anthony has his own algorithm. So, but we're trying to get active shops. So, but it's like,
so let's just say it's 5 million shops. Remember that to be in the top 1%, you just need to be in the top, like, what is it, 50,000. So if you're in the top 3%, then there's 150,000 shops ahead of you, but there's 485,000 shops, 4,850,000 shops on the other side of you. And so that's how it's just a very simple calculation based on the number of active sellers versus where you fit in that, but it's based solely on the number of sales. And that's where it gets that number. So if there's a shop that sold 1 million items 10 years ago and hasn't sold anything, they will still rank above you as long as they're still considered an active shop.
I know you're way higher up in the chat, so that's fine, but I have to share Gabby's conspiracy theory. Cannot confirm or deny, but she has a hunch that Caitlin Minimalist is Anthony's wife, so she's got an unfair advantage. Well, Anthony started eRank because his wife sells jewelry. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Caitlin Minimalist is in California. Anthony's in Ohio, so it's other sides of the country. So unless they have that kind of relationship, which some people have, the long distance relationship, I don't think that's true.
I told you he is always snooping. Now we've got to behave. We know the boss is here, but yeah, yes, she's not his wife.
We have to sit up now. We have to
that would be hilarious. But also, I think Caitlin might have a Lamborghini. Who knows? I think I would hope out of all that, like, you can be top 1% and not doing amazing. I hope if you're the top seller on Etsy, you are doing well. I hope she's got a good margin. Otherwise, yeah, we're all in trouble.
Swagata says, when a new seller signs up, Etsy should send them a quick note warning them against scams. They don't send a note, but they actually put on the message itself, warning there's scam messages around, only respond to people that you want to, or that you think you should be getting messages from. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work because people don't read those little notes above, like the send button and stuff like that. They try, they're trying to knock those out as fast as possible, but you never know.
Yeah, I was just checking there. I don't see that on any of my messages just now. But...
No, it would be newer shops that see that.
Cool. I definitely did see it a couple of years ago, and yeah. I'm not a newer shop, but yeah,
they put it on all shops for a while, and now it's just on newer shops that there's that little warning.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Geek Authority asks, are images used for your items you make that are enhanced by AI backgrounds allowed on Etsy? Will they know?
Yeah, they won't know. There is nothing, unless it's the copyright, like, Anthony, you can't put the TARDIS up behind your listing, right? But unless it's something like that, like, there's a lot of chatter. People say, oh, you can't use AI for this because it'll get flagged. Like, if you take something that AI's created, save it as a JPEG or save it as a document or something, there's no little note on it going, this is AI generated, as far as I know. If it was, it would be much easier for people to tell these things. So yeah, there's nothing stopping it. What Etsy wants, as far as I can tell in its images, is it wants the image of the item to represent what the person's going to get. And isn't that basically what Canva is? Well, yeah. Is there a difference using an AI generated image or a stock photo or whatever else. There really isn't. The only thing I would say is probably don't spend too much time on that, because the background's the least important. Your image is the most important bit. So don't. I've seen that people get these beautiful backgrounds and they sort of overpower the picture. We want to see your item, and it can also be really difficult to get an item to seamlessly fit into the image that you've had created or stuff. Not everyone's as good at Canva as Starla is, making things look like they're actually sitting where they are.
Exactly. Michelle said, or asked, I would love a way to search on top sellers by year. For example, if a shop has been around for many years, they always rank higher. I would like to see top sellers in US in 2024 in jewelry, for example. And that you can. So when you go to competition and then top sellers on Etsy, you can actually now you can actually filter it. So you will see categories. You will see. Here, let me just share this screen.
Whose question was it?
This is Michelle at 3:44.
Yeah, I don't get timestamps. Okay. Oh, got it. Yep.
So the top sellers, you'll see Caitlin Minimalist, Bead Boat. They will always be on top. They have millions of sales. But you can actually choose a different category. So you can choose jewelry in Finland, and they opened in 2023. And you just hit apply, and that will then show you just those sellers.
Is that what you wanted to see, Michelle? Because that is, I love seeing that. What I love doing, it's a bit late in the year now, but I love at the start of the year to look at shops that opened in that year and see the brand new shops doing well.
Exactly. And then there's actually a toggle, all-time bestsellers, which is the default, and then you can do show active shops only. So if there are shops that are not that are no longer active, it will filter them out.
Yeah. Oh, you're forcing my screen. How terrible!
Sorry, I realized it logged me out. I wasn't logged in, so I couldn't actually show examples of exactly what was happening there.
Fair enough. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. Oh yeah, Michelle, it's when they opened. Yeah, I did wonder. That's why I asked again. You want to see who sold the most in that year. I think Anthony's snooping and he actually has answered that. But if not, yeah, I understand. I understand the question. If Anthony hasn't made a note of it or said why we can or can't do it, I'll make a note and let people know. It is. Yeah, he said we'll look into it. Cool idea. I was writing it down, and then Brian started answering. I was like, have I got that wrong? So that's why I was double checking. Yeah. So you want to know who, like, regardless of when they opened, what the top seller in 2020 was, which is also a very cool idea. And see, guys, this is this is the good thing. If you ask these questions, especially when Anthony's snooping, he is writing that down and taking that away. So
exactly,
you've got 1 more minute to get in all your suggestions while Anthony's here.
Thaw said, do you know if responding to reviews and putting in a few SEO keywords get indexed and make a difference on a page? No. Reviews are not reviews that the buyer leaves you. Those are used for just context and personalization in the search, but your responses mean nothing. Even Google doesn't index those.
Yeah. Don't worry about adding keywords to places that are for the customer. Deal with the customer. It's not going to help them. So keywords are a great thing, but put them in the places where keywords need to be, and that is your title, your tags, and a little bit in the description for Google.
Exactly.
And attributes and categories and anything. Yeah, a quick speed round on the rest of the rest of the
I
comments.
don't see any more. Accountant, if you're looking for... I believe that's it.
We did it. Oh, and right on time. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We won't be here next Thursday because that's amplified where Starla will be speaking. So everyone should log into that. I think Jessica left, but if there's anyone here, can post a link to that in the Facebook group or in the chat here even. That would be cool. You should be able to get a free ticket to watch online to see Starla presenting. She's always awesome. But on Tuesday, myself and Brian will be here with our webinar. We shall be talking about the competitor sales tool, a real nice beginner's guide, because a lot of people ask, what does that do? What's the point of that? How do you use this? So join us, ask all your questions. I'm going to have a nice easy one because this is Brian's favorite tool, so he can geek out
really
over
is.
it. And guys, we'll see you.
Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all of those different things. Okay. Bye, everyone.
It wasn't easy, no, but with eRank, we're trying.